Hi, trumpet fans. Thanks for spending some time here again. We're looking at another of Nathan Ost's Lip Flexibilities. And I really like these because they have musical gestures and a harmonic context. So you don't feel like you're just playing an exercise, and that puts your mind in a little bit different place. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today and try and demonstrate a few of these on different instruments. And I realize some of you may not have multiple instruments. You might only have one trumpet and one mouthpiece, and that's exactly where I was until just a few months before my graduation from conservatory at Oberlin. So I did everything on B-flat trumpet. B-flat is our main instrument. So I'm going to start with B-flat today, and then I'm going to go to C and then D, if possible. You could also do, for example, you could do B-flat trumpet, B-flat cornet, and B-flat flugelhorn, or any other combinations. So I find this very helpful for a variety of reasons. But I know you're probably already getting bored, so I'm going to go ahead and play through this one. And first I'm going to check my tempo. So that's the suggested tempo. Now usually Mr. Ost gives a range of tempi, and here he gives one tempo. That doesn't mean that you have to play it at that speed. I'll show you that in a second, but let me go ahead and do this. Okay, I'll do what I can. Okay, this had some flaws, as I'm sure you could hear. You can concentrate on the problem, or you can concentrate on what you want, what you're aiming for, what's the point, why are you practicing this? So I'm going to try a bunch of different things, but I promised you I was going to do it on a different instrument, so I'm going to try it on some different instruments first, just for the heck of it. I might not go all the way through. And I'm going to show you a technique that I've mentioned many times before, and those of you who are attending to my regular videos or have gone back and searched the library on my channel are probably already familiar with this, but I simply call it sustain. Sometimes I call it freeze frame or fermata. It's basically you're playing through, and instead of just playing straight through at tempo, you do that for a while, and then you randomly sometimes instantly sustain a note. The reason why I'm doing that is to see how well balanced I am. I'm checking the coordinations. I'm checking where I am with my breath, where I am with all the various physical aspects of playing the trumpet, and I'm also checking the sound. So when I'm just sustaining a note, some people would say holding a note. I don't like that. I think you're feeding the note. You're sustaining it. You're keeping it going. As one famous trumpet player said, I'm always crescendoing when I play the trumpet. You're always feeding in. That doesn't mean that you're striving or pushing. It means it's kind of like walking, or something more fluid like surfing or skiing, something like that. So I'm going to see if I can surf a little bit better this time. This is on C trumpet. And of course, the first thing I need to do, and those of you who are trying to get used to playing C trumpet, you know that this is not necessarily an easy thing to do when you play B-flat your whole life. You hear the pitch in a different place. Now, I didn't like that because I wasn't really concentrating. Plus, this takes a fair amount of range. So I want to get the sense, the taste, that I'm in the right position to play the entire range without making big adjustments with my face. And I think I set up kind of wrong. So I'm going from the D up to the A. Actually, I'm going up to the B. In this case, B concert, since I'm on the C trumpet. So let me try that again. I'm going to go a little slower this time. Yeah, there's the marked tempo. I'm going to slow it down to something where I can feel the gestures as a little bit more relaxed. So I'm feeling, it has that feeling of buoyancy that we talked about before. Not like you're driving to get to the upper note, but like you're gliding. I was thinking, should I circular breathe? Should I take a breath? Messing around with it a little bit. At the same time, I'm sustaining, feeling my body getting tight. So I'm going to go back and play the line again. But not before I just did the assessment. Okay, I saw what happened. I heard it. What am I aiming for here? That's the next choice. I'm going to sustain that B and try and be as free as possible on the B. Now, a warning here, if I start in the beginning of the line, I'm going to be starting on the low D. And most people will set up for the low D. So they can get a nice big fat, rich, vibrant sound on the low D. That's great. But you might set up for the low D and not be in the right position for the high B. And those of you who have experience with this will know exactly what I'm talking about. For others, it may be a mystery, but the feeling should be that you can play the entire range without having to manipulate too much with your face or change the pressure that much. Okay, that's well and good. That's all physical stuff, mechanics. We'll talk about that later. But for now, I'm trying to get that B. So I'm going to feel what it's like to play it when I'm playing it my best. I'm imagining the sound. And when I can hear it, then my body knows what the target is. Now, of course, when we're playing music, it's a moving target. It's not a target I'm holding on to. I'm sustaining it, and I'm leading to the next thing that's going to happen. And I've come from what just happened before. So when I try and when I investigate, when I'm curious about how these things are connected, everything starts to work better. And that's why I'm thinking in gestures. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. So you see how I'm constantly playing with it. Now that assumes something. I'm in a comfort zone. If I'm not comfortable, then something is off mechanically. And this happens to even the best players in the world. They don't talk about it much, but I've had conversations with literally some of the greatest players in the world. And some of them have gone through fairly significant periods where they just couldn't feel it. They knew things were not right and they couldn't figure out what it was. This is, of course, very stressful for your psyche. If you're making your living doing it, as these particular players who I'm thinking of were doing at the time, then it's quite stressful because you don't know whether you're going to continue to have a career or not. You might have to take an office job or something, and that would be unimaginable. So you can see that there's a lot going on in terms of how personal our playing is to us. So try and put that aside and just have fun and play and explore and enjoy the sensations and get as much satisfaction as you can out of it, and then share that satisfaction with others. So we're kind of feeding something positive all the way through. Now that didn't feel too bad. I was still pinching a little bit on the top, and I'm likely to be pinching a little bit more when I try it on the D. So I'm going to do that now. Now, one thing, the horn is a little bit cold. I'm not hearing the pitch exactly where I want it. I need to warm it up a little bit. And that's going to take some time. So I'm not going to let the pitch bother me when I'm working on this. What I'm trying to do is find the center of the note regardless. Now this is very difficult for someone who has a sense of absolute pitch. It's almost a form of torture. Very few people have absolute pitch. Quite a few people, relatively speaking, have good pitch memory. They can kind of remember where the pitch is and hear where it's supposed to be. That's a little different than absolute pitch, but that's a great thing to have. You have to kind of set that aside. If you have absolute pitch, you're not going to be able to set it aside. It's just there. If you have excellent pitch memory and relative pitch, then you can set that aside and just concentrate on something else, which in this case is, can I find where the note wants to vibrate in the horn, and can I keep from reacting to the fact that I'm playing a smaller instrument which is more resistant than what I'm used to. Now let me try it. Wow, that was kind of fun. I should play D trumpet more often. I really enjoy this horn, but I hardly ever play it, as I've mentioned in other places. Now, of course, Mr. Oz gives variations here. And the variations are simply the same pattern, same interval relationships in a different key. You can play any of these etudes in whatever key you like. And just like any other regular pattern, whether it's a scale or an arpeggio or something that you might work on as a drill, you can not only play it in different keys, you can work your articulation styles. You can be playing it with dynamic challenges. Obviously, you can be playing it at different speeds. So these are the essential things that you need to be able to do physically and musically when you play. It's really just a matter of doing the work. So I hope you have some fun. And when you get done watching this, that you'll go do some work. Be patient, keep it simple, give yourself a chance to succeed, and keep it fun. And I'll see you the next time you have a few moments to spend with me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.